If you watched NASCAR this weekend at Watkins Glen, you saw something that has been building all season long, and it finally became impossible to ignore. The NASCAR Cup Series is officially in the middle of a youth movement. We just watched a 23-year-old driver named Ty Gibbs lead 17 laps at one of the toughest road courses on the schedule. We watched a 19-year-old rookie named Connor Zeilish qualify fifth, run inside the top 10 most of the day, and finish as the fastest rookie at the Glen. And while these young guys were absolutely shaking up the front of the field, you had veteran champions like Joey Logano finishing dead last in 38th place, 15 laps down. And honestly, as a fan, you can feel the shift happening. There is a new generation of NASCAR drivers showing up every single weekend, and they are not waiting their turn anymore. They are taking the wheel right now. But here is the thing. This is not just one story. Because while the young guns were stealing the show at Watkins Glen, the veterans were having one of their worst collective weekends in years. Joey Logano, a three-time Cup Series champion, finished 38th. Kyle Larson, the back-to-back defending champion, finished 23rd. Brad Keselowski, a former champion, did not even crack the top 10. The veterans got buried. The kids took over. And the timing of this could not be more dramatic. So today, we are breaking down both of these stories because what happened at the Glen this weekend tells you exactly where NASCAR is heading. And hey, real quick, if you are new here, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe. This channel is just getting started. We are pushing for 1,000 subscribers, and if you live and breathe NASCAR like I do every single week, you are in the right place. Welcome to Freedom Line News. All right, let's get into the first story because what Ty Gibbs did at Watkins Glen was honestly one of the most impressive young driver performances we have seen in a while. Let me set this up properly. Ty Gibbs is 23 years old. He is the grandson of Joe Gibbs, who owns Joe Gibbs Racing. He has been racing in the Cup Series for a few years now, working his way through the ranks. And in April of this year, he finally broke through and won his first career Cup Series race at Bristol Motor Speedway. That win was a long time coming. The kid has had to deal with all the pressure that comes with being a third-generation racer in his family's race team. He has had to prove himself against drivers who openly questioned whether he belonged in the Cup Series, and he has had to do all of that while learning on the job at the highest level of stock car racing. At Watkins Glen this weekend, Ty Gibbs showed up ready. He qualified 9th. He ran inside the top 10 most of the day. He scored stage points in Stage 2. And then, when the strategy played out in his favor after that wild flying tent caution on lap 40, Ty Gibbs found himself out front, not just leading by a massive margin. He built up a 29-second lead over the rest of the field. 29 seconds, with 17 laps to go. That is the kind of position young drivers dream about. You have the lead. You have the pace. The car is fast. The strategy worked. All you have to do is run the laps and bring it home for your second career Cup Series win. But then it all fell apart, and the way it fell apart tells you everything about how cruel modern NASCAR can be. Ty Gibbs went into fuel-saving mode. He had to. The strategy that gave him the lead also put him in a position where he could not push the car at full pace for the final 17 laps. And while he was saving fuel, Shane Van Gisbergen was charging from way back. SVG closed the entire 29-second gap in 17 laps. He flew past Ty Gibbs like the number 54 Toyota was standing still. And by the time the checkered flag waved, Gibbs finished third, 7.288 seconds behind the leader. After the race, Ty Gibbs admitted it. He told reporters, quote, "Honestly, just a little frustrating. I wish we could keep racing, but unfortunately just had to save some fuel there." He continued, "Yeah, good to come home with a third-place finish. Obviously, wish it was another win, but, you know, Had a lot of fun today. Always fun to come to Watkins Glen. That is a 23-year-old driver handling a heartbreaking loss with maturity that most veterans struggle to find. He did not blame his team. He did not blame NASCAR. He did not blame the strategy. He acknowledged the situation, took the third-place finish, and moved on. That is the kind of professional response that wins championships down the road. And honestly, as a fan, watching Ty Gibbs at Watkins Glen reminds you that the future of NASCAR is in really good hands. This is a driver who is still developing. He has now won at Bristol, finished second at multiple tracks, and led 17 laps at Watkins Glen. He's becoming a serious threat at every kind of racetrack, short tracks, road courses, intermediates. There is no weakness in his profile right now. But Ty Gibbs is not the only young driver who showed up at Watkins Glen this weekend. Connor Zeilish, the 19-year-old rookie driving for Trackhouse Racing in the number 88, also made a statement. Zeilish qualified fifth, as a rookie, at a Cup Series road course. He ran inside the top 10 for most of the race, and he finished as the fastest rookie at the Glen. For context, Connor Zeilish is part of Trackhouse Racing's development program. He has been winning at lower levels of NASCAR for the past couple of seasons. The same Saturday, he ran fifth in qualifying for the Cup Series race. He was racing in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series and got into a battle with Jesse Love that ended with a final lap pass for the win. 3 straight Watkins Glen victories in the lower series. The kid is just consistently fast at this place. And the way Zeilish handled himself in the Cup Series race this weekend, especially given his age and experience level, was honestly impressive. He did not get overwhelmed by the moment. He did not make rookie mistakes. He raced clean, finished 20th in his Cup Series debut at the Glen, and showed every NASCAR insider that he belongs in this conversation. That brings us straight into the second story because while the young guys were proving themselves at Watkins Glen, the veterans were having one of the worst collective weekends of the entire 2026 season. And honestly, the contrast could not be more stark. Let's start with Joey Logano, 3-time Cup Series champion, one of the most accomplished active drivers in the entire sport. And at Watkins Glen this weekend, Logano finished dead last. 38th place, 15 laps down. The reason was a flat left front tire on lap 61 that brought out a caution. From that moment on, the number 22 Team Penske Ford was done. He could not recover. Now a flat tire is bad luck. That can happen to anyone. But when you put it in the broader context of where Joey Logano's 2026 season is right now, this Watkins Glen result is part of a pattern. Logano sits 17th in the points standings, 291 points behind Tyler Reddick. He is below the playoff cut line, and after his very public comments about the next-gen car following the Talladega Big One, the pressure on him to perform has only intensified. Then look at Brad Keselowski, another former Cup Series champion. He qualified 26th. He finished outside the top 10. Another forgettable race for a driver who has been one of the elite competitors in the sport for over a decade. And of course, you have Kyle Larson finishing 23rd. The back-to-back defending champion of the Cup Series finished outside the top 20 on a road course. Larson should be a road course threat. He is one of the most versatile drivers in modern NASCAR, and he could not crack the top 20. When you add it all up, the veterans got dominated at Watkins Glen. The drivers in their 30s and 40s who built their careers on dominating the Cup Series got pushed aside, while a 23-year-old led 17 laps and a 19-year-old rookie ran inside the top 10 most of the day. Honestly, my take as a fan watching all of this is simple. The NASCAR Cup Series is going through a generational shift right now, and it is happening faster than most people realize. Tyler Reddick is leading the championship at 30 years old. Ty Gibbs is 23 and just led 17 laps at Watkins Glen. Connor Zilisch is 19 and already running competitively in his Rookie Cup Series starts. Carson Hocevar is 23 and won at Talladega earlier this season. Corey Heim is 22 and led 56 consecutive laps at Texas just weeks ago. This is not coincidence. This is a wave. And the veterans are going to have to figure out how to adapt, or they are going to keep getting buried in the finishing order. For Ty Gibbs specifically, this Watkins Glen result, even though it ended in heartbreak, is going to fuel him going forward. He led 17 laps at one of the toughest road courses on the schedule. He outran Tyler Reddick. He outran Chase Elliott. He outran Kyle Busch. He outran most of the field. The win slipped away because of fuel mileage, but the performance was elite. And the next time he gets in that position, he is going to remember exactly what to do. For Connor Zilisch, this weekend was a coming-out party. Fastest rookie, top 20 finish in his Cup Series start at the Glen, backed up by another dominant Saturday performance in the lower series. This kid is going to be a Cup Series star, and it is going to happen sooner than most fans think. And for the veterans, the conversation starts to get uncomfortable. How does Joey Logano respond after finishing 38th? How does Kyle Larson get back to championship form? How does Brad Keselowski stay relevant in a series that is getting younger every season? These are real questions, and the answers are going to determine the next chapter of the 2026 Cup Series. To wrap it all up, we had Ty Gibbs and Connor Zilisch absolutely making statements at Watkins Glen, with Gibbs leading 17 laps and Zilisch out-qualifying most of the veterans in the field. And at the same time, we had multiple Cup Series champions, including Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, and Brad Keselowski, having one of their worst collective weekends in years. The generational shift in NASCAR is no longer something that might happen in the future. It is happening right now, every single weekend. And now we head into the All-Star race at Dover next weekend with real questions about which generation is going to win out. The veterans have experience and championship history. The young drivers have speed, fearlessness, and the willingness to take risks that older drivers cannot afford to take anymore. Every race from here until the playoffs is going to be another chapter in this generational battle. If you are a NASCAR fan, this is honestly the most interesting time to watch the sport in years, because you are not just watching a championship play out. You are watching the entire competitive hierarchy of NASCAR get rewritten in real time. The faces on the podium are getting younger. The faces in victory lane are getting younger. And the veterans are running out of time to prove they still belong. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Ty Gibbs is the future face of NASCAR? Is Connor Zilisch going to win a Cup Series race this season before it ends? And should fans be worried about the veterans like Joey Logano and Kyle Larson struggling to keep up with the new generation? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I really want to know what you think. And if you are a NASCAR fan who enjoys real conversations and honest opinions about the sport, subscribe to Freedom Line News. The channel is brand new, and we are pushing toward our first 1,000 subscribers together as NASCAR fans. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and check out the video on screen right now where we break down Shane Van Gisbergen's stunning 29-second comeback win at this same Watkins Glen race. Trust me, you do not want to miss the full breakdown of what SVG just pulled off. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.